Hello students. So let us see the problem number 4. Mr. Subhash, resident in India, and the incomes during the financial year 2018-19. So first one, interest on securities rupees 6,000. So if in the problem they are not clearly mentioned whether it is in less tax securities or tax-free securities, or whether the government securities or commercial securities, and if they given the information that only the interest on securities, then check it out whether the amount is more than 10,000 rupees or less than 10,000 rupees. If it is more than 10,000 rupees, then the tax amount will be deducted from the sources. So we need to do the gross up. If the amount is less than 10,000 rupees, then there is no tax as deducted from the source. So directly the end amount will be taken under the head called as income from other sources. So here the interest on securities rupees 6,000, which is less than 10,000. It is nothing but it's an gross amount. The tax has not been deducted from the source. So directly the 6,000 will be taken to the head called as income from other sources. Second one, we have winning from horse races rupees 12,500. So any income called as casual income, if it is more than 10,000 rupees, it is subjected to TDS. That is, the tax will be deducted from the sources and net amount will be paid to the assessee. If it is less than 10,000 rupees, then no subject of TDS. So entire amount will be taken as gross up amount. Here, the winning from horse races is rupees 12,500, which is more than the 10,000 rupees. So we need to do the gross up by using the formula called as net amount into 100 divided by 100 minus tax rate. So the tax rate for the casual income is 30%. Third one, income earned from subletting of house property rupees 10,500. So such income is fully taxable, and check it out, any expenditure which has been made for the same subletting house property. So if you observe, there are certain expenses incurred on subletting rupees 500. So now 10,500 will be the income, from that minus the expenditure of rupees 500. So the balance amount 10,000 will be taxable under the head called as income from other sources. Next, fourth one, dividend from a foreign company rupees 26,000. So any dividend from the Indian company or domestic company or any units of Unit Trust of India or mutual fund up to 10 lakh rupees, it is fully exempted from the tax. About 10 lakh rupees, the difference amount will be taxable under the head called as income from other sources. But any dividend from the foreign company, it is fully taxable, and any dividend from the cooperative society, it is fully taxable. So dividend from a foreign company is fully taxable under the head called as income from other sources. Next, interest on post office saving bank account. So if it is an individual account, up to 3,005 is exempted from the taxes, and if it's a joint account, up to 7,000 is exempted from the taxes. So here the income is 2,000 and it's an individual account. So up to 3,500 can be claimed as an exemption. So entire amount is exempted from the taxes because which is less than 3,500. So it is exempted from the taxes. Next, we have ground rent for land in Patna, rupees 5,000. So the ground rent is nothing but it's an amount which has been paid by the building owner to the land owner for the usage of the land. So such amount is fully taxable under the head called as income from other sources. So enter 5,000 will be taxable. Next, expenses we have taken for the subletting of house property. Next, we have the income from agricultural land in Bangladesh, rupees 20,000. So any income from agricultural land in India is fully exempted from the taxes. But any income from agricultural land outside India is fully taxable. So the Bangladesh outside India, so enter 20,000 will be taxable under the head called as income from other sources. Next, director fees rupees 1,800. It is fully taxable because director fees cannot be taken for the first four heads of income. So ultimately, it will be taken under the head called as income from other sources. Next, he received a gift from his cousin, a wristwatch rupees 5,000 on 1/6/2018. So it is received in the previous year. So he is receiving the gift from the cousin. So he will not be included in a term called as relative. So if any gift received from the non-relative, maximum up to 50,000 can be claimed as exemption. Means below 50,000 or equal to 50,000 can be claimed, no tax will be payable. But above 50,000, entire amount is taxable. So the amount is 5,000, which is less than 50,000. So it is fully exempted from the taxes. Next, rupees 700 received by an account pay check as interest on debentures listed of a company in which public are substantially interest. So any income in the form of interest on any debentures in a company where public are substantially interest, and if it is received in the form of account pay check. Now up to 5,000 rupees, up to 5,000 rupees, no tax will be deducted from the sources. So if it is less than 5,000, no tax will be deducted. That amount will be gross up amount, and we are going to take under the head called as income from other sources. But if it is exceeding rupees 5,000, tax will be deducted from the source, and we need to do the gross up. So this amount rupees 700, which is less than 5,000 rupees. So 700 will be taxable under the head called as income from other sources. So I'm repeating, any income called as interest on debentures which has been received in the or by the account pay check where the public are substantially interested, that is called as government, then we need to check if it is less than 5,000 or more than 5,000. If it is less than 5,000, then no need of gross up, then directly the amount will be taken under the head called as income from other sources. So if it is more than 5,000 rupees, then the tax will be deducted from the source. So we need to do the gross up. That is called as net amount will be given, and we need to do the gross up. Next, we have interest on deposit under gold monetization scheme 2015 rupees 15,000. So this interest on deposit under gold monetization scheme is given under the list called as list of securities which are fully exempted from the taxes. That is called as gold monetization scheme. So any interest on deposit under gold monetization scheme, such securities are fully exempted from the taxes. So 15,000 is exempted from the taxes. Last one, he gets a gift of a house property. So house property is nothing but it's an immovable property which cannot be movable from or which cannot be transferable from one place to another. So the treatment, stamp duty value of property on the date of gift is rupees 45,000. So if you observe, is not paying any consideration, that is nothing but written back amount. So if he receiving any gift from the non-relative, and if if the asset is an immovable property without the consideration, then we need to take the stamp duty value of the asset or property. And if the stamp duty value of the property is less than 50,000, it is fully exempted from the taxes. If the stamp duty value of the gift is more than 50,000, entire amount is taxable. So since the stamp duty of the gift is 45,000, which is less than 50,000, it is fully exempted from the taxes. So interest on securities 6,000. Winning from mortgages, they have given net because more than 10,000, so we need to do the gross of 12,500 into 100 divided by 70, 17,857. Next, income earned from subletting of house property 10,500. Expenditure incurred 500 rupees. 10,000 is income from other sources. Dividend from a foreign company fully taxable 26,000. Interest on postal saving bank account up to 3,500 for individual account is exempted, and for the joint account up to 7,000 exempted. Since the amount or income is 2,000, so it is exempted from the taxes. Ground rent, it is fully taxable. Income from agricultural land in Bangladesh, fully taxable. Director fees, fully taxable. Received a gift from a cousin, which is not exceeding rupees 50,000 because he is a non-relative. So it is fully exempted from the taxes. And rupees 700 received by an account paycheck as an interest on debentures of the company in which public are substantial interest. So less than 5,000, no need of gross up. More than 5,000, net amount will be considered, and we need to do the gross up. So 700, we're going to take directly under the head called as income from other sources. Next, interest on deposit under gold monetization scheme. So this securities are given under the list called as exempted securities from the taxes. So it is fully exempted from the taxes. Next, gift of a house property from Basu is a non-relative and it's an immovable property and without paying any consideration, and the stamp value is less than 50,000, so it is fully exempted from the taxes. So after that, the total income from other sources is rupees 87,357. Next, we move on to problem number 5. Following incomes are received by Mr. Ajay, resident, in the previous year 2018-19. Compute his taxable income from the aid other sources. So first one, director fees. So already we have discussed rupees 10,000. It is fully taxable. Next, interest from post office saving bank account rupees 500. So since it is an individual account, up to 3,500 you can claim the exemption, and if it's a joint account up to 7,000 you can claim the exemption. So which is less than 3,500, so we can claim the exemption. So enter 500 rupees will be exempted from the taxes. Next, dividend received from cooperative society rupees 7,000. So any dividend from foreign company and cooperative society, it is fully taxable. So 7,000 will be taxable under the head called as income from other sources. Next, winning from Andhra Pradesh State Lottery rupees 28,000, and they have mentioned clearly that it's an net amount. So if in the problem, if they clearly mention the word called as net, it is nothing but we need to do the gross up. And if they not clearly mentioned any word called as net or gross, please take the amount. Then, if the amount is more than 10,000 rupees, we are going to assume that it's a net amount, that is tax has been deducted from the sources, and we need to do the gross up. If the amount is less than 10,000, we are going to assume that it's a gross up amount, means the tax is not been deducted. So directly we are going to take the under the head called as income from other sources. But in case if in the problem they have clearly mentioned whether it's a net, then whatever the amount they have given, that's a tax deducted from the sources amount. So we need to do the gross up by using the formula called as net income into 100 divided by 100 minus tax rate. So for casual income, the tax rate is 30%. Next, family pension received rupees 30,000 per annum. So it is also taxable under the head called as income from other sources. So if any income called as family pension received, from that we can claim the exemption or the deduction under section 57. So the exemption amount will be maximum up to rupees 15,000 or one third of the actual amount received. That is, the actual amount received is 30,000. In that, one third portion will be claimed as exemption. So 15,000 or one third of the actual amount received, whichever is less, can be claimed as exemption from the family pension received. Next, insurance commission received rupees 23,500. So already we have discussed in the theory part, any insurance commission received, if it is more than 20,000, then the tax will be deducted from the sources. And if it is less than 20,000, then no tax has been deducted from the source, so it is in gross up amount. So if you observe, they have given that the insurance commission received is rupees 23,500, means it is more than 20,000, so the tax has been deducted from the sources. So what we need to do, first we need to do the gross up by using the formula called as net amount into 100 divided by 100 minus tax rate. So the tax rate for insurance commission is 5%, and first we need to do the gross up, and from that we need to claim the any expenses incurred in earning insurance commission rupees 2,500. So because it's an revenue expenditure and such expenses has been incurred for purely for earning the income. So it can be claimed as exemption or deduction under section 57. So first we need to do the gross up for the 23,500, and from that gross up amount we need to claim the exemption. Last one, Mr. Ajay received a gold chain from his friend as gift. Its fair market value is rupees 32,000, and painting from another friend as gift. Its fair market value is rupees 18,000. So be careful. He is receiving the gift from the friend. It is nothing but it's a non-relative, correct? And it can be movable. So check the asset, that the asset is one, it is gold chain, and second one it is painting. It is nothing but movable asset, and the category called as capital asset. So any gift which has been received from the non-relative, and if the asset is capital asset, then we need to check the fair market value of all the transaction, all the assets in the previous year. So we need to total the all the transaction of all the assets which has been received by the assessee. So first what we need to do, he received the gold chain from his friend. The fair market value is rupees 32,000. 32,000 plus painting from another friend as gift, its fair market value is rupees 18,000. So we need to total the, or we need to aggregate the all the transaction or all the gifts in the previous year. So 32,000 plus 18,000. So the total amount gift received is, or aggregate amount of gift received is 50,000. Now, if any gift which has been received by the or from the non-relative, and if it is a capital asset, and if the fair market value of all the transaction has to be considered, and the fair market value is less than 50,000 or equal to 50,000, it is fully exempted from the taxes. But in case if the fair market value is more than 50,000, entire amount is fully taxable. So 32,000 plus 80,000 will get 50,000, which is equal to 50,000. So it is fully exempted from the taxes. So any gift which has been received by the non-relative, and if the asset is movable property, we need to take the total of all the transactions in the previous year. So if the fair market value is less than 50,000, fully exempted from the taxes. If the fair market value is more than 50,000, it is fully taxable. So let us see the problem. Director fees fully taxable. Interest on post office saving bank account less than 3,500, fully exempted from the taxes. So it is 500 rupees, so exempted from the taxes. Dividend from cooperative society, it is fully taxable. Winning from Andhra Pradesh state lottery, they have given net, so we need to do the gross up. So how to do gross up? Net amount 28,000 divided by 70 into 100, or net amount into 100 divided by 70, because 70 is nothing but 100 minus 30, that is tax rate. So we'll get 40,000. Next, family pension received. So 30,000 they have received the amount. From that you can claim the exemption. What is the exemption amount? 15,000, up to maximum of 15,000 you can claim the exemption, or one third of actual pension received. So 15,000 or actual one third of actual pension received. 30,000 is the actual pension received into one third. So we'll get 10,000 rupees. So among them we need to take the lesser value. So lesser value is 10,000. So exemption amount will be 10,000. So the balance 20,000 will be taxable under the aid income from other sources. Next, insurance commission received. So the insurance commission received is more than 20,000. So we are assuming that it's a net amount, and we need to do the gross up. So tax rate for the insurance commission is 5%. So net amount is 23,500 into 100 divided by 100 minus tax rate, that is 100 minus 5. So we'll get 95. So the net amount is, sorry, the gross up amount is 24,737. From that, the expenses incurred for earning the income rupees 2,500. So the balance amount will be 22,237. Last one, movable property received as gift. So since he has received the gift from the non-relative, so we need to total the value. So 38,000 gold chain and 12,000 from paintings. So total of or aggregate of all the gifts received, and if it is less than or equal to 50,000, it is fully exempted from taxes. If the fair market value of the total asset is more than 50,000, entire amount is taxable. So I have given the note that as the aggregate, that is total of fair market value of movable property, that is 38,000 plus 12,000 received as gift, is not more than 50,000, which is equal to 50,000. So it is fully exempted from the tax. So we have taken as tax free. So after adding the amount, so we get income from other sources 99,000 to 37. Next, we'll move on to problem number 6. Problem 6. Mr. Jai furnishes the following particulars of his income from the previous year ended 31st March 2019. So let us see the first one. Rupees 36,000, 10% tax-free debentures of a company listed on a recognized stock exchange in India. So be careful that they have told that rupees 36,000, they have invested the amount of rupees 36,000. On that 36,000, they are earning the interest called as 10%. So what is the security they have given? Tax-free debentures of a company. So it is nothing but commercial company or private company which is listed on a recognized stock exchange. So any security called as tax-free security, and if it is a commercial or private company securities, whether it is listed or unlisted, always the net amount will be given. That is means the tax will be deducted from the sources. So what we need to do, that net amount has to be converted to the gross up amount. So 36,000 is the investment amount into 10% the interest rate. So 36,000 into 10% will get interest amount is 3,600. That 3,600 is the net amount. So we need to do the gross up by using the formula net amount into 100 divided by 100 minus tax rate. So 3,600 into 100 divided by 100 minus tax rate is 10% for interest on securities. So 3,600 into 100 divided by 90. Second one, interest on post office saving bank account rupees 2,000. So up to 3,500 individual account can claim the exemption. For joint account 7,000. So since it is less than 3,500, it is fully exempted from the taxes. Next, rupees 12,000, 12% tax-free commercial securities unlisted. It is also same, since it is a tax-free commercial securities, that is private securities, and it is unlisted. So the amount or interest amount will be given net, that is tax will be deducted from the sources. So what we need to do, we need to do the gross up by using the formula net amount or net interest into 100 divided by 100 minus tax rate. So the interest amount is 12,000 into 12 percentage. So we'll get the interest amount into 100 divided by 100 minus tax rate is 10%. Next, dividend rupees 7,000 gross from a tea company. 60% of the income of the company is agriculture income. So whatever the income he has received, if it is received from the domestic company or the Indian company, it is fully exempted from the taxes, whether it's in gross or whether it's in net. Any dividend from the Indian company or domestic company is fully exempted from the taxes. And up to 10 lakh, more than 10 lakh, the difference amount will be taxable. Next, rupees 30,000, 8% port trust bonds. So here they have not mentioned the word called as tax free. Okay, and so what we'll do, it is assuming that it's in less tax free securities, and they're not clearly mentioned whether it's in company or the government. So port is nothing but it is related to government. So we're assuming that it's in less tax free government securities. So any less tax free securities, government securities, no TDS will be applicable, means tax will not be deducted from the sources. So what we need to do, we need to just take the interest amount that interest amount will be directly taken under the head called as income from other sources. Means any less tax free, if it is issued by the government, then no TDS will be applicable. So entire amount is in gross up amount. So we need to directly take to the head called as income from other sources. Next, dividend from a foreign company rupees 4,000. The company directed at source rupees 1,000. So he is receiving the dividend from a foreign company. It is fully taxable, and he has already paid the tax amount of 1,000. So this 1,000 will not be taken for the consideration because it has been paid in the other company. So it will not be considered. So entire 4,000 will be taxable under the head called as income from other sources because it is a dividend from the foreign company, not from the domestic company. Next, 15,000 rupees 15,000 9% municipal debentures. So again, it's an less tax-free securities because they have not mentioned the tax-free word. So municipal debentures, it is nothing but it's in government related securities. So no TDS will be applicable. So directly we need to calculate the interest. That amount will be taxable under the head called as income from other sources. So 15,000 into 9%. So we'll get the amount called as 1,350. 15,000 into 9%, 1,350 because it's in less tax-free government securities. No TDS will be applicable. Next, winning from lottery, they have given the word called as net amount received. So net amount, so we need to do the gross by using the formula net amount into 100 divided by 100 minus tax rates. So amount is 21,000 into 100 divided by 100 minus tax rate is for casual income 30%. So 21,000 divided into 100 divided by 70. So you will get 30,000 as an income or winning from lottery. So please see the word whether they have given the net or gross. If they clearly mention the word net, then we need to do the gross up. But if they mention the word called as gross, no need of grossing up again. So directly the amount will be taxable under the head called as income from other sources. Last one, rupees 2 lakh 10% debentures of Delhi Development Authority. So they have not given the word called as tax free. So it is nothing but it's in less tax free securities. And Delhi Development Authority, it is nothing but it's in government securities. So no TDS will be done. So directly we are going to calculate the interest amount, that is 2 lakh into 10%. So we get 20,000 as an interest on debentures of Delhi Development Authority. So total income from other sources is rupees 63,350 rupees. Next we have the problem 7. Dr. Ahmad, resident, a lecturer in a college, furnished the following particulars on the basis of which compute his total income for the assessment year 1920. So be careful, they have asked to calculate the total income. So the total income is nothing but the total of all the 5 heads of income, that is called as income from salary, income from house property, income from business or profession, income from capital gain, and income from other sources. So after adding the total of 5 heads of income, you will get the gross total income. From the gross total income, we need to minus or deduct the deductions called as ATC to ATU. And after making the deduction, we'll get the amount. That income will be called as total income. So be careful. If they given the total income, we need to calculate the separate income for the different heads. They have given the information. So let's check it out. What are the information they have given? First one, they have given as salary at rupees 6,000 per month. It is nothing but income from salary. Second one, wardenship allowances rupees 1,000 per month. Again, it's an income from salary. Next, examinership remuneration from the university. So examiner remuneration, it cannot be taken under the head called as profession. It will be taken to the head called as income from other sources. Next, royalty from books and articles, income from other sources. Winning from card games, rupees 10,000, 9,000, income from other sources. Winning from Karnataka State Lottery, other sources, expenditure on purchase of lottery tickets, other sources, interest on 8.5% relief bond rupees, other sources, cash gift, other sources, cash gift from the elder brother, rupees 30,000, other sources. So first we have two heads of income, that is called as one, income from salary and income from other sources. So let us solve the problem. So we are going to take the heading called as income from other, sorry, calculation of total income. So first we have taken the heading, that is income from salary. So first basic salary, so rupees 6,000 per month into 12. So 6,000 into 12 will get the 72,000 as in basic salary, and is getting the wardenship allowances which is fully taxable. So amount per month is 1,000 rupees into 12, you get 12,000. So the total amount is 84,000, and you need to claim the deduction under section 16. So the standard deduction up to rupees 40,000, you can claim the exemption under section 50 or under section 16. So you can claim the exemption under section 16 up to the maximum of rupees 40,000. So 84,000 minus 40,000, so the balance amount will be 44,000, which is taxable under the head called as income from salary. Next, we have the different income from the other sources. Let us see one by one. So, examinership remuneration from the university. So, it's an income from other sources fully taxable. So, the tax treatment says that any amount from the university in the form of examinership remuneration, which is not taxable under the head called as income from profession, which will be taxable to the head called as income from other sources. So, 8,000 is fully taxable. Next, royalty from books and articles. It is also fully taxable, but check it out. Any expenditure which has been incurred by the associate for the publication of books and articles, so such expenditure can be claimed from the royalty income. Next, winning from card games in club, rupees 9,000. So any winning from casual income subjected to TDS if it is more than, or the income is more than 10,000 rupees. So the income from the card games is less than 10,000. So directly the 9,000 will be taxable. So directly 9,000 taxable under the head called as income from other sources. Next we have winning from Karnataka State Lottery, rupees 50,000. They have given the word called as gross. So be careful. They have clearly mentioned it's a gross amount. So no need of grossing up again. Okay, only if they given the word called as net, or else if they're not given anything, then we need to check the amount. If the amount is more than 10,000, then we need to do the gross up. If the amount is less than 10,000, no need of gross up. And if they mention clearly the word called as gross, again don't do the grossing up. So winning from loss, Karnataka State Lottery rupees 50,000, and they have told that expenditure on purchase of lottery ticket rupees 6,000. Correct. So any expenditure on the casual income will not be claimed as deduction under section 57. So be careful. Any expenditure on the casual income is not deductible under the section 57. Only the expenditure which has been incurred by the assessee for owning and maintenance of horses can be claimed as exemption or deduction under section 57 only on the income from the such income, that is called as income from horse races only. Other than that, no expenditure can be claimed as deduction under section 57 for the casual income. So expenditure on purchase of lottery rupees 6,000 is fully not or not deductible. So what we have done, winning from Karnataka State Lottery, they have given the gross amount. So we have taken 50,000, and purchase of lottery ticket is not eligible for deduction. So nil, balance amount 50,000. Next, we have interest on 8.5% relief bond rupees 8,500. So the relief bond securities will be given in the list. So if you want, if you can check the list which is exempted for the list, the securities which are fully exempted from the taxes. So there they have given the relief bonds. So it is fully exempted from the taxes because it's a government tax-free securities, fully exempted from the taxes. So relief bond fully exempted from the taxes. Next, cash gift from the cousin of his father, rupees 30,000. So they have given the word called as cousin. So it is the not included in the term called as relative. So we need to take the 30,000. And again, cash gift from the elder brother of his grandfather. Again, the elder brother will not be come into the meaning or the term called as relative. So it's an so both the gift or cash gift has been received from the non-relatives. So what we need to do? We need to total the cash gift in the previous year. So the total of the cash gift is 30,000 plus 30,000. So since it is a cash gift, so if the total value or aggregate of the cash gift is more than 50,000, entire amount is taxable. If the aggregate of the cash gift in the previous year is less than 50,000, fully exempted from the taxes. So first one 30,000 plus 30,000, which is equal to 60,000, is more than 50,000. So cash gift from non-relative 30,000 plus 30,000 exceed rupees 50,000, which is fully taxable. So amount 1,47,000 is the income from other sources. So they have asked to calculate the total income. So income from salary is rupees 44,000 and income from other sources is rupees 1,47,000. So total is 1,91,000. This will be called as gross total income, and from the gross total income we need to claim the deduction under section 80C to 80U. So no information has been given under regarding the deduction. So deductions will be nil and the balance amount, that is same amount 1,91,000, will be called as net income.